Well, I made two mistakes. First was not realizing the severity of what I was into. And the second one was not calling 911 in the first place. And I should have been more aware when particularly that second one happened, because you may not get a third chance. You may not. I had mowed half of my yard. I came into the house and I started to feel a little itchy, nervous type. I had to sit down on the couch and I waited for about an hour and I felt better. I went back outside. I was out there maybe 5 minutes and I started feeling really weak. Fell again, but I called a friend of mine. I said, I think I'm having a stroke. I knew as soon as I could get to a hospital was to go to Lexington. And that's where she took me directly. They got me in a wheelchair, took me straight back. So he said, we're going to give him this drug, which TPA, I found out later on.
TPA, most people think of it as a clot buster. If you have a vessel that's blocked and you come in within the time frame, we give you TPA. Boom. Now we have blood flow to those areas, right? And nobody wants to go to the emergency room. Like, that's the reality. But when it comes to a stroke, that really is the thing we know that is going to make the difference in your life. Jesse came in, I believe, within 3 hours. Perfect. He got TPA. And within no time, he was back to himself, which is unheard of.
But if I'd waited another hour, they said that there wouldn't have been any way that they could have had the TPA. That I would have probably had to have brain surgery, and that I would have lost part of my mental capacity. I could have been sitting in a nursing home right now instead of being in my house, in my own home.
Stroke prevention is part of my purpose. Like, I think a lot of stroke patients look like me, right? African Americans, women, and so I really am very passionate about saying, like, hey, come get help. Like, we can help you. When I met him via telehealth, he was back to his normal self. And this was not his first stroke. So it's even more important. It was his second stroke, and the deficits could have been that much worse. But I think the education from the first stroke led him to really paying attention to those risk factors, getting help. And when you see somebody who can get their life back after such a scary event, and strokes are scary, it's one of the best parts of my job. Or you see somebody who really understands the negative impact of their risk factors and then they make the changes. I feel like it's a win, like, every time. You feel like you've made a difference. Like, I come to work and I get to make a difference every day. I don't know many people can say that.
2017, I had open heart surgery. Later diagnosed with chronic lymphomic leukemia. Then I was diagnosed last year with prostate cancer. So it's been a trip, but I'm fantastic. I'm doing fine. I'm very thankful that I'm able to communicate and do what I do.